here's the overview. We're going to talk about an overview of meetings. Then we're going to look at meetings in 3 different blocks. 1, setting up the meeting. And you find that that is where you address most of the issues about meetings, how you set up the meeting. Then what you do during the meeting to keep it effective, and more importantly, what you do after the meeting. First part of making your meeting effective is about how you set it up. How do you set up your meeting? And the first question is, should you even be meeting at all? Should you be having a meeting at all? Meetings are not the only communication channel available to you. You may not need to have a meeting. So here is a simple flowchart for you to consider when you are thinking about calling a meeting. First, have you thought through it? Have you thought through the situation to decide whether you need a meeting or not? If no, then go spend some time thinking about, do I really need a meeting and what do I want? 2, if you have thought through it, do you need outside input? Do you need other people in order for you to make progress on this situation or this project? If you do, then you can then think about a meeting. But if no, then you know what? Go block time in your calendar and do the work that you need to do to achieve your objective. If you do need outside input, then does it have to be a real-time conversation, or can it be asynchronous in terms of people can send you the information they need, you can ask for it, they send it to you, and then you can achieve what you want? If you don't need a real-time conversation, send an email. If you do need real-time conversation, as in you need people contributing in real time, then you can think about scheduling a meeting. When you have a meeting agenda, it gives direction. It gives direction for the meeting. It lets us know. Sometimes from the agenda, you can know that this meeting will not end on time. Because sometimes the agenda is more than the time allotted for the meeting. When you have an agenda, it also helps you focus. It helps us to focus the conversation because number 1 item on the agenda, number 2 item on the agenda. Chidima and Tej, I would like you to weigh in on this, your thoughts around the value and power of having an agenda in the meeting. And the investment of time. You know, when you call a meeting, especially an internal meeting, meetings are very expensive. If you look at everybody on that meeting, look at how much they earn per hour, and you call a 2-hour meeting, that is the total value of that meeting. That meetings can be very expensive when you have people, because people are being paid for doing work during those hours. And when you have 20 people who are earning, I don't know, $100 an hour, that's like $2,000. That's the cost of that meeting. What are the ideal things that should be in an agenda? The objective of the meeting, the names of the stakeholders, who's doing what in the meeting, the timing for each agenda item, how long you want to spend, and any material that you need to share before the meeting. Make sure you are very familiar with the meeting technology. When you are not speaking, mute your mic. Comments in the chat box always helps. If you want to increase the interaction, use your video. Now, the next 3 are interesting ones, especially when you work in a team. Rotate responsibilities. Do not be the only one that is facilitating all the meetings, especially if it's a recurring meeting. It's interesting what you can make happen when you assign different people to lead those recurring meetings in your team. People take bigger responsibility. So rotate who's facilitating, and always include those interesting things that make it fun. Always have something, and make it the job of the facilitator to think of something to make the meeting interesting. So what do you do after the meeting? Because about the meeting, before, during, after. How do you support accountability? Here are a simple few tips you can do. 1, at the end of every meeting, always have a summary. What is the thing we have agreed? Who will do it, and by when will they do it? Very important. That should be the last item. It can be in the chat box, it can be said by someone, but don't leave a meeting without capturing it. 2, make sure that you as an individual, you have put time aside to achieve the thing you are taking away from the meeting. And it helps if it's a team meeting to actually encourage people to block time in their calendar. Because all of a sudden they may realize that they are not able to complete the thing before the next meeting and may want to renegotiate. So meeting notes, very important. Like I said, don't write everything, but make sure the meeting notes is somewhere where everybody can access it. If you use Microsoft Teams, this is automatic. You can record the meeting, you can post your notes in the channel of that team so that nobody needs to be asking. If you don't use Microsoft Teams, which you should, you can send the meeting notes. Make sure it is sent immediately after the meeting. That one says some people are, okay, I will work on the notes, except it's a board meeting where statutory requirements, you have to write a particular way. If it's just a regular team meeting or a customer meeting, capture your notes, send it 5 minutes after the meeting, because it promotes accountability. So I know what I'm supposed to do, you know what you're supposed to do. Then, the really killer point is this, people. If it's a recurring meeting like a team, don't start the next meeting unless you have gone through progress on the previous action items. After introduction and checking in on everybody's well-being, the next agenda item should be, what did we discuss last meeting and what are the updates on those? That's how you promote accountability. Otherwise, your meetings will not be effective. You just will have spent time talking and nothing gets done. This is who we are. We are a performance consulting organization, whether online or offline. We are a very proudly African company. We have worked in 7 African countries, delivering for different customers. And our values are simple. We believe when we're aligned on the objectives we want to achieve, we can focus on priorities. We believe in integrity. We always support accountability by making sure that we get better every time we do something. And what's another thing that's important? We believe that we should have fun. That's what life is about most of the time. So what we do best, the consulting piece of our work is when we come and sit in your organization, understand what may be affecting you achieving, may be preventing you or supporting you from achieving your goals, and then we work with you on that. We do a lot of training like this one, and then we also have a team effectiveness practice where we support teams to be more effective. What do you need to do working together? And we do that through a number of things. We have our alliance partner organizations that we use intellectual property and work with them. We're proudly insights partners. We're leading insights partners on the continent, and we use the insights discovery methodology in designing a lot of our programs. We also have coaches on an HC Bonham, and we support executives mainly, and sometimes we have to work with you on conferences and retreats. We have our informing platform where we share insights around productivity and performance on a monthly basis through our newsletter called The Trailblazer. So we're always connected, we're always engaging with you as our customers, as our friends. And these are some of our customers. But also you can follow us on social media, and these are our social media handles.